showtime.
Hey, Miss, how you doing?
Please subscribe to Sharonatsea channel. Thank you.
Sharon, we're going to have to contact Maxwell and let him know that we need to update the summertime video thing. We need something with some snow and some colder weather from Minnesota out there from him. Can you put a call into him? Make that happen?
We'll see what we can do.
Okay. All right, good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday night. Tonight is Monday, the October something.
The October.
It's October, what is it tonight? 28th?
28th.
28th, October 28th. Monday evening, and we are so happy to be here. Sharon, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you doing good?
I'm all
Are you back
recovered.
to normal?
I'm
Recovered
back
from
to
our
normal.
cruise?
Yep.
It takes a little while, doesn't it? It takes a couple days to kind of get back into the groove. Even though it was a shorter one, it was just 5 days, but it takes a minute.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see if the people can see us, if they can hear us, if we're coming in loud and clear. Good evening, everyone in the chat. We appreciate you being here. Crazy Cat Traveler said, next time they update the Maxwell video, the kid will be in college. At least driving. You're probably right. Sig the Solo Cruiser, what's up, Sig? It was lovely to see you on the cruise.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for saying hi. Sorry we didn't get to see you anymore. I know you were probably running around making some vlogs, and we were doing the same. So, and there is So Tweety says, cheers, Sharon at Sea Travel and everyone. We were just talking about you. We were noticing that you put out a video, So Tweety, on your YouTube channel, plug for So Tweety, that it says, what I love about being like an elite cruiser on the Sun Princess or something like that, and it got a certain amount of views. And then the next day you put a video out that said what I hate about it, and the views are just blowing up. In 7 hours you've already done like 1.5 or getting close to 2 times the amount of what you got on the first one. So it just goes to show that negativity sells. It sells papers, it sells magazines, it sells all of it.
Negativity. No one wants to be happy anymore.
That's right. That is right. Riding with Larry here says, just listening in tonight. Hello to all. What's the matter? You don't want to look at us? You don't? This is not working for you anymore, Larry? You just want to hear the voices? Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Wendy Johnson says, hi, Callie and Matthew. We'll send a shout out to them.
Yeah, they will. Well, Matthew's at work, so he won't see it, but Callie will probably see it because she
Sometimes she sneaks in and watches
usually watches it from her phone.
Watches from the other room. Or she's on the phone with her friends saying, look at my grandparents, they're out of their minds. Something along those lines, anyway. John and Diamond says, hello, all ready for the exciting Princess Talk. Wish we could have been there with y'all. Oh, yeah, too bad you weren't there. We met some people that were just like you guys. They had the same name and looked just like you, so that was quite a coincidence. And we had a great time hanging out with them, as always. Lovely to see everybody. Sharon, do you have what's the game plan for tonight? Are we going to jump right into some Sun Princess talk or something like that?
People love the extremes. Yeah.
Oh, they do. Yes, they love the extremely negative. That's for sure.
And someone says, let's see, negativity and gossip.
Yes, yeah. That's what they need. And then some people get mad at it, but you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. Even putting out our likes and dislikes and the unexpected, right? We just put out that video, and yes, there were some things that were shocking, so we didn't feel that it was particularly clickbaity. But yeah, I mean, lots of response to that. Lots of comments back from people about the stuff that we put on there. And of course, being on a new cruise line for us, you notice things much more than if it was our 45th Carnival cruise.
Yeah.
Things would just go right over our head. But being there and trying things new and nitpicking things, I guess, on occasion.
It's because
that stuff stands out.
Some things are different on different cruise lines. So, if you've cruised on one cruise line a lot, then when you go to another one, you notice little things that are different. And this time we noticed several things because it was our first Princess cruise. So
yes, you are right. And Sharon, I think and someone said Sharon looks like she got a little sun, but we look good. We're not particularly red tonight. I can see on our phone. We just look normal colored, and we did get a little sun out there.
A little sun, yeah.
The
weather was it was really nice. Well, it was really nice, but let me say one thing: it was very humid.
Well,
it was very humid.
That's just normal stuff. I mean, it's something that we never get used to the humidity. It's like we're surprised when we get on a cruise ship in Fort Lauderdale and it's humid. But
it was. I feel like it was more humid this October than other Octobers in the past that we've sailed.
Really?
And it was probably because the hurricanes that have just blown through and everything.
That could have been it. That could have been it. That could have been it. And speaking of the hurricanes, there were some comments on our video saying, well, they just had the hurricanes there, and maybe it was Milton's fault. And I'm like, I don't think so. That part of Florida was not particularly impacted, and I don't know. We're gonna get into all of it.
The things that maybe weren't perfect weren't really anything that would have had to do with the hurricane.
Yes. Beverly says, I personally enjoy an honest review of the ship.
Oh,
yeah, you know what? A lot of
Beverly.
people made that comment too, and I know that we had there was a hint of bashing, but not we didn't bash Princess, but a few of our experiences we did. And
but we had a lot of great experiences.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I mean, we couldn't even mention all of them because a video can only be so long. But we're excited to cruise Princess again, even with the mishaps we had, and we had a great time.
hold on, somebody said, Jamie, something about the rest of my shirt. Okay, so my shirt is just it's our Sharon t-shirt. It says, I don't need to drink to have fun, but I always have fun when I drink. There you go. You can see that. So that is available. I mean, that we don't talk about it much, but yeah, you can go to the Sharon at Sea Travel spread shirt, and you can order yourself one of these, and you can be wearing one for your next cruise. If you want to represent. Plus some other things. I Like It Dirty is on there. Sharon's cruise day drink and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate the cheap plug. We always appreciate that kind of stuff. Very, very nice. What else do we have? I was surprised how much I liked Princess, the Crazy Cat Traveler. Hopefully Sun gets it together for my sailing next year.
I'm sure. I'm
yes.
sure they'll get it together. It's most of the things I think are things that will get ironed out.
Yes,
for the
and
most part.
Larry has a question. Beauty and the Bum Travel said, was Jimmy on the Sun Princess? Was he there? He wasn't there. I don't
Not
think he made an
really.
appearance.
No, not really.
No.
He might have slightly made an appearance one night for a short time, but
Barely.
Barely.
He was barely
Yeah.
there. He was barely there. So, but it was awesome. And one thing, mentioning So Tweety there, I just want to say thanks to her. She did a fun little thing where Hillary, So Tweety, had sent a Stanley bear to Tony from Alito Loca, who was on the ship right before us. And so he got the bear, and he signed it, and he left it for us to get. And then we got on the ship, and then we signed it, and then we took it, and then we left it for So Tweety to get. And then she got on. Now, none of it went smoothly. It was quite a challenge.
Stanley got lost in between.
Stanley got lost.
In between each
Yes.
transition.
We took a picture with Stanley. There's us with Stanley.
Once we finally got him.
It took a minute to get him. Because apparently, when you tell guest services that someone left something for you from the last cruise, they're immediately like, no, nothing is left from the last. Yeah. Like they think it's like a lost and found situation.
When they brought it, at first they brought us out this little, what was it, a little rabbit or something? It was
I
like
don't
really
know.
about this big.
Weird.
It was
It
really
was
small,
definitely
and this
something
ripped up old bag, and they're like, "Is this it?" And we're like, "No."
So that was Stanley, and then finally, here I think that I don't know where So Tweety is right here. She's in a dome. Definitely some blue lighting going on, but yeah, she finally got her hands on Stanley. So that was a fun little thing that we did there. So thanks for involving us with that. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
That was a good time. So all right, so Sharon, so we're back from Sun Princess. Right out of the gate, what do you want to throw out there about Sun Princess? What did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it amazing? Are you ready to go back again? What are you thinking?
I loved it for the most part. I mean, there's a few things that I didn't care for.
Yeah.
But not enough to make me not want to go on the Sun Princess again or any Princess cruise for that matter.
Well,
I mean, we're already planning another Princess cruise soon, so.
What have you done to commit to the next Princess cruise?
I did purchase the future cruise deposits when I was on board.
Yeah, you did.
Just because I've done that on, whenever we've gone on a new cruise line, I've done similar things like that when I want it, because it makes me have to go on another one, so then I can try it again.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't get
that's
sidetracked planning other things. I'm like, oh wait, I have this, I have to use it.
Yeah.
So I need to plan this.
Well, you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say, yeah, we'll probably go again. It's another thing to put some money on the deal and then definitely go again. I think is the difference there.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to start with? I know you made a few notes. So what we want to do is we just want, if you, first off, guys, hey, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. Monday Night Football is going on. I know we're a week away from something. I don't know. I just heard about it in the news. I think there's a presidential election coming up soon or something like that. So we'll see. And don't forget to join us on that night. We're having our live presidential live stream. Are we doing that?
No.
We're not. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And let me give a shout out to our beloved nautical nurse Nancy, who's clamoring for some thumbs up there. Thank you, Nancy. We appreciate that. Leanne is off tonight. She called in sick. She said she stubbed her toe at her new house. She's still getting used to the lay of the land out there in Florida. So she's off tonight. Nancy's holding down the fort. Thank you, Nancy, for being here. Nancy, we hope that everything's going good and that your cleanup is going good. You know, Nancy, they have that place, that house down there in Florida. And first they got their butts kicked from Helene. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks later, once they just got cleaned up from Helene, Milton came through and kicked their butts again. So we hope everything's going good for you and Anthony, and love you guys, and hope you're getting squared away and all cleaned up down there. Because, you know, we need to get down there and check out that pool, that's for sure. So we'll see how that goes. What does Princess offer when you get the future cruise credit? Great question, Scott McNeil. You get you pay, basically you get $100 deposit coupon. You pay $100, you get $100 deposit, and that you can use that as a deposit on your next cruise. So basically, if the deposit happens to be the full amount at the time, there's not a sale going on with a reduced deposit. So say it's $250, you can pay your $100 and coupon, I guess, and that takes care of the deposit. So you don't have to come up with the whole $250. Yes.
So you get a lower coupon. And
do they have any onboard credit or anything with it? I know a lot of times the cruise lines will do that.
Well, we did have some onboard credit, but now I'm trying to remember. I don't think it had to do with that. We had another promotion. All
right, so it was just the fact of getting it and committing and putting your money where your mouth was and making it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically being able to pay a lower deposit.
Yeah, putting less money down instead of a full $200 or $250 a person. You're basically getting $100 per person, and it's counting as your deposit.
If you don't lose it, you can put it on a reservation, and say if something happens and you can't go, as long as it's before the final payment date, you can move it to another cruise booking. Yeah. So you don't really lose it.
There you go. All right, good question. All right, so what do you want to talk about first? You have kind of a couple things, a couple thoughts. You want to talk about food, service. You want to talk shows and entertainment. Where do you want to jump in at?
Let's start at entertainment.
Okay. All right. So we're on Princess. It's our first time ever. You know, we've been on the big three, right? Carnival, NCL, Royal. We've been on Holland America. Now, Princess, Holland America, and Carnival all fall under that Carnival Corporation umbrella. So it's funny how it's the same company, but these cruise lines are so. It's not even a little different. It's so different. I mean, everything from the Medallion on up from there was quite a different experience, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And so when it came to the shows, what'd you like best? What'd you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What were your thoughts about the shows and the entertainment on the ship?
Well, I thought the shows in the theater and the arena were great. But now they're not. Everyone on the ship had extremely good talent, I guess is the main. Well,
that's weird to say. Thing. They didn't. They were talented.
Yeah,
they had good singers, good dancers, and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's not that the shows were like over the top, like some of the new Royal ships. You know, they really put together some great shows. You know, with a whole story and everything. It's not like a whole big elaborate thing like that, but it reminds me, I guess, a good way to explain it is it reminds me of the shows we used to see on cruise ships several years ago when we first started cruising. Just good old singing and dancing type shows. I mean, they did have a little bit of a story behind them, but it was just a lot of singing and dancing. But it was good, and it just reminded me of when we used to cruise years ago, and not all the new crazy type of shows. And I like that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go on these, listen, being on Icon of the Seas not too long ago, other ships like that, I mean, the stuff is so amazing, you know, whether it's the Aqua show or different things like that.
Now, I will say,
so much.
The show in the Dome, it was a good show, but I think for me, it's not that it was underwhelming. I think if I had never been on a Royal ship and seen any of the Aqua shows, I would have thought it was like one of the greatest things.
Yes.
But after seeing a couple of those, it was like a level down from that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still a good show.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
if you hadn't seen it before, you'd be blown away. It's like if
Yeah.
you've never eaten filet mignon before and you have your first filet mignon, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But if you've had filet before, that's been very good. Then you have another one, you're like, okay, it's cool, but I'm familiar with it. And you can judge it that
And
way.
I think the biggest problem was with the dome is a lot of people were they weren't able to get in to see the shows because it's really too small to accommodate enough people, and they didn't re-show the shows enough so that everyone can get an opportunity to see the shows.
Yes.
We learned on there through, I think we learned through John and Diamond, a bartender,
Yeah.
I think, told them, and they
Yeah.
told us, but that if you get into the Cascade Bar early before they shut the doors off by the dome
This
area,
is a massive tip,
Yeah.
by the way. This is
Yeah.
a huge, this is the best tip of the entire week that we got.
then you can actually stay in there at the bar and have your drink. So then when it gets up, I think maybe about an hour or so before the show, they shut those doors off. So
Yes.
no one else can get in, and then people have to start lining up outside of the doors for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're already in that bar area, you can stay in there. So when the show gets ready they start to open up, they let the people in the bar area go grab their seats first, and then they open the doors and let everyone else start coming in. So if you're in there, if you get in there early, about an hour early before they shut the doors,
Yes.
then you have the opportunity to get one of the best seats in
Yes,
the dome.
and that is the Cascade Bar. And it's not a timing thing. Someone asked in one of the questions, because we talked about it in the video, and they said, what time do the doors close or whatever?
Yeah.
I think there was a lady there who was literally clicking. She had like a counter on her. And it was
Yeah.
funny because John and Diamond had told us that. We were chatting with them.
So there's probably-
and they said, hey, this is what they do. They're here. It might not be open that much longer, and then they'll close it off. And so Sharon and I are like getting out of dinner, and we're racing to get there. We're like, oh my God, we got it. And then we literally, and I'm not kidding you. I know it sounds like BS, but I'm not kidding you when I tell you that the two of us walked in, and I think like one more person walked in after us, and then boom, a minute later they closed the doors. So we were literally some of the last people to get in
Yeah.
there, and it was so amazing. We're just sitting there casually. We're having a few drinks. Was that when did we try the is that when we were trying the pantalones and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
We're trying the Matthew McConaughey tequila, doing all this fun stuff, just having a blast. And meanwhile, outside there's a line of 100
Oh
people
my gosh.
out
And
there,
then when
and
we-
it's just like, it's miserable.
And then when
it's
we
hot
walked
there.
out,
and-
they were getting lined up for the next show because there was another show after
oh,
ours.
jeez.
And
that
when
was
we
unbelievable.
walked out of there and passed by all these people, it went out the door, like all the way down a hall, all the way wrapped around. There was probably twice as many people lined up that were going to even get in that show.
It sure seemed like it.
And
It's not a big venue.
No, and they had probably been waiting there for quite a while. And I felt so
Yeah.
bad. It's like I just wanted to tell them, you might as well just go do something else because you're not getting in there.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
shouldn't be
but
standing
you
room
know,
only.
it was crazy.
It
So
was brutal.
that's probably the downside is the dome just not being big enough to accommodate enough people, or they just need to show the same show more often.
Yes.
You know.
I agree, because in the main theater, the arena, the Princess Arena, it'll hold under 1,000 people, but there's 4,500 people on the cruise ship, passenger wise.
And a lot of people said that was small. Now it seemed a little small, but there wasn't one time that we went in there where there wasn't seats available.
Yes.
Like when we went in there were lots of seats available. By the time the show started, it was pretty full, but you could still see seats here and there available. They just weren't in the best locations, but
Yes.
you could find a seat.
Yeah, we got one of the shows. We got it, not the Janice Martin show, but I think another show. We walked in and we stood there for a second, and the guy manning the door area, he just kind of pointed over and pointed to some seats for us, so we just ran over and got hooked up. So that was kind of cool. So that was cool. So yeah, so entertainment wise, and the bands were good. The music around the ship, the entertainment.
Yeah.
In the Piazza area, I think every night practically that same band was there.
Yeah,
the
they were
Moonlighters
good.
band or something like that.
And there was always something going on
Yes.
there all throughout the night, like one thing after another. During the day, there was very few times that there wasn't something going on in the
Yes.
piazza as well. So
Now, a few people, we thought that was cool that they really made a huge deal of the Atrium area. Now, there are bars and things that are adjacent to this area. For instance, like Rudy's Catch, the restaurant is right there. It's got massive, thick doors just to keep the music from coming in.
it's kind of funny because when you go into Rudy's and you go in, and at first you don't know that the door is not going to kind of shut slowly and quietly.
Yeah.
And if you're at one of the tables right by the door and someone comes in and they let the door go, it like literally goes bang. It's like,
Well,
it's
you
like
could
a big
you could be
slam.
sitting there enjoying a quiet evening, a fantastic dinner, maybe a romantic evening going on, and then when somebody comes in and the door opens, all of a sudden, boom, you get smacked with like the volume and the
Well,
music going on
But
and
it's
everything.
the
from
door
out there.
slamming too. It's kind of weird.
So there were some people, we heard some people that were kind of complaining, saying, yeah, if you're sitting in the bar that's adjacent to that, like the Crooner's bar, it's so loud that you
Yeah.
can't just sit there and have a light conversation. So,
Yeah.
it's the good and the bad of it. No one, not everyone's going to be happy, but it worked out good. And you were right about the talent. You get on the cruise ships nowadays and there's the group of people that work there full time. They're full time on the cruise ship, and those are the entertainers. Then they have like Broadway play type people that come on, and they're just there for certain shows, and that's all they do is one particular show. Well, these people were the regular crew that were on board, the onboard cast, and the singing, the dancing, the talent was fantastic. So yes, Nancy says banging the door is not great ambiance. So there you have it. Were the Charles Hahn? I don't know. We got on the ship on a Monday, and there was Monday Night Football, but I don't know if it was played on a big screen anywhere. And they didn't show Thursday, I think, because Thursday Night Football would have been like on Amazon. So, but I can tell you that in the cabin on the television there is one channel that was dedicated to football, and as we were getting off of the ship, we got off the ship on a Saturday. And the TV showed that there were a couple college football games that were going to be played. So they are aware of football and stuff like that. So I think that might be a little bit of an answer for you. I think you can see some of your sports. And I mentioned in the video the other day that if you have some streaming service on your phone, we were able to use a VPN. With our internet. Princess is unique. They either you have internet or you don't. It's not like good, better, best internet or anything like that. And we had mentioned in our video that the internet was great.
Yeah,
it was good. It worked well for us.
I think it was the best we've ever had on any ship.
Yes. So being out in the sea, I was able to turn on the VPN, then connect to my streaming service, which thought that I was wherever my VPN said I was, and I was able to get like YouTube TV and watch whatever I needed to.
Yeah,
so,
I mean everything
so
was
you can
really
definitely
great
do
on
that.
my phone. Like I didn't even usually we message back home through Facebook and things to the kids and everything, but everything we were just texting back and forth throughout the day, and everything was just going right through so quick. I mean, it was
So
great.
Tweety made a comment there. Did you notice whether any crew left during your sailing? I believe a ton of crew had their contracts expire over the past 2 weeks. We had a lot of people say that, Hillary, about why was your service off? Why was the experience? Why were some things not good?
I heard that they changed a lot of the crew.
You know what? That's fine, but I am not. Listen, I am not buying that crap. Excuse my French.
I think
because
they did
because
change
they might have changed out a few people, but I mean I don't know how many people they would change out. But first off, if that's true and they changed out half of the ship, very bad business, very bad move. Coming into the U.S. for your inaugural season out of Fort Lauderdale, and immediately flipping so much of the crew, and there was so much chaos and confusion. Some of it can be blamed a little bit on a recent change in dining venues that got moved around and stuff like that.
Most of the chaos was the dining though.
It seemed to be all dining staff. Yes, it really did. There was a lot of stuff there. The bartenders were pretty good all the way around. You had an instance where you were ordering a drink and yeah, I get it. Maybe you're new to that bar and you're not familiar with a drink or something like that.
Look at the menu to see what ingredients were in the drink.
But I can't tell you the last time that we ordered a drink where they didn't know what it was.
It didn't taste like what it was supposed to be,
Well,
or look
another-
like.
I mean, like I said, I one gal didn't know what a Miller Lite was, and I was like, "Come on," it just some weird instances like that, and the service was just, whether it was Alfredo's Pizza or the Crown Grill, or even in Rudy's when we ate there, man, it was a struggle. And if you want to tell me there was a handful of new people, that can slow things down a little bit. Okay, I'll give you that. But you don't put all these new people in positions where it's going to negatively impact the experience, that much. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I've never seen it before, and I wouldn't expect it on a Princess or a higher end. I mean, okay, fine. You want to give me Carnival? I've never had anything like that happen on Carnival where the service was that off. Where the people were that confused and
the
stuff
one
like that.
night
So,
at the Crown Grill, we have never had anything like that happen, even
yes.
near that ever on any of our cruises.
That's never happened at TGI Fridays.
That
let
was
alone
probably
on a
our
cruise ship.
worst experience ever. And the whole time though, some people might have gotten annoyed by it, and we were annoyed in a way, but not really. We were kind of laughing to ourselves, just like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And we just kind of made fun of it and went along with our night. And then we left there just kind of like, did that really happen? Like, what was that?
Exactly.
It was just kind of.
Brian from How We Cruise. What's up, Brian and Julie? How you guys doing? Princess has been advertising recently how they upgraded all the internet. Yes, it's upgraded. It's working good.
It was great.
Listen, it was much better than what we had on NCL on the Prima recently. I tried to upload a video on the Prima and it literally would not upload. And here I uploaded a 20-minute video. It took 2 hours, which is kind of normal for that.
Yeah, it was
for being on a cruise
best
ship. So.
Internet we've ever had.
It really was. It really was. NJ Cruiser said entertainers and comedians rotate on and off all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes they can.
do.
Yes. Yep.
They do.
Regular and maybe some of them, not all of them. Usually it's parts of them.
I think not some of their singers and dancers don't, unless it's just something coming on for that particular sailing. Comedians do a lot. They'll come on in certain ports sometimes and go off, and they rotate out a lot, I think. Yeah. But
oh my God! So Tweety said our room steward left on day 3. There were dirty dishes from the previous passengers in our cabin closet. Oh my God! You must have been living. That would not fly.
That must have been one of the new ones, the new staff.
That would not fly.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. That was. It was just odd. It just took us back a little bit.
It was just a really weird experience for being like. I know the ship's been out there for several months sailing in Europe, but being in the inaugural sailing here in the U.S., it was just very odd that things weren't more on point with
yes.
It's
Charles Holland says, how has it been cruising without the kids? We have had a few cruises without the kids lately. And Charles, I can tell you, it's been some of the saddest cruising of my life. I mean, it's been devastating not having the kids with us all the time.
There's definitely a lot.
I hate having all that extra room in the cabin and doing whatever I want anytime I want. It's been horrifying. It's been terrible.
We had so much. A lot of cupboards and drawers that weren't even being used with it.
Yes. Kimber Biggert said, so how would you rate between Princess, Celebrity, and Virgin? Well, out of the 3 of them that we've cruised, Princess has been the best, but we haven't been on Celebrity or Virgin yet. Yeah. And I don't see us trying Virgin in the near future.
Yeah. We have plans.
I don't know if that's in our
we have plans to go on Celebrity in 2025. So we'll see how it is. But we were just talking earlier today about comparing Princess and Holland America, but not overall, because since this was the only Princess cruise we've been on, but we were saying, well, I'll take the Sun Princess and compare it to the Koningsdam, which is the newest Holland America ship. And Jamie was asking me, which one would you rather go on? And that was a really hard decision, because I said if you could take all the activities and all the things going on in the Piazza off the Sun Princess and put it on the Koningsdam, then I would choose the Koningsdam, because I liked everything else on the Koningsdam maybe a little better. But I really enjoyed all that activities in the Piazza, even though we didn't have a chance to really participate in a lot of it, just always going by and seeing there was something going on. I really enjoyed that.
There you go. Let's see. What else do we have? Janelle says, Janelle Chu said, we had slow service on Carnival Celebration. So slow, we joked you couldn't go over your drink limit. Kevin Perez says, are you going to have more vlog style videos of your experience on the Sun Princess? We do. We've got we made some video each day. So we're going to try to, we might combine the sea days or something like that. I'm not sure, but we've got a couple videos of our days. And on one day we got off and met some friends and stuff at Margaritaville, which is that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, there'll be a video coming out about that too. Oh my
God, yes, Margaritaville. Yeah. Margaritaville and Grand Turk has gone down. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Carnival needs to step in.
It is no place I care to go to again.
Yeah, so we've been there a handful of times and spent days there and had great times. Yeah. And it is Man, I mean, it is horrible. The service is brutal. The pricing is confusing, and they add in charges, and it is just not a good experience anymore. I am so sorry to say that I might just have to exclusively go down the beach to like a Jack Shack going forward. But that's off. That's off. That's a topic for another day. iBobby8 says, hold on, is that what it is? iBobby8 says, I'm sailing on some Princess in January with my 3-year-old. Other than the kids clubs, or anything else that she can do? Well, I mean, it depends. I don't know what the rules are for swimming or getting in the water.
Well,
if they're potty trained and stuff like that.
She's 3. You said 3?
Yep.
3, and if she's potty trained, she can go in the pools. They did have their the area that was called like Park 19 that they took down, and now it's like a sports type court area. They haven't really put a lot of things up there yet. I don't know what else.
They put nothing up there.
But they do have a little area sectioned off with a net around it, and they have this like looking like a outdoor toy box. Although all that was in it was some blocks when we opened it up. But they did have two or three like tricycles in that area for little kids.
Yeah, I couldn't get you off of the tricycle. You kept wanting to ride it.
They could ride around in that area, But other than that. That's about it.
Yes. Yeah. Just hopefully the little one loves the kids thing. We saw there were not a lot of kids, but they're much more than I think you'll find on other Princess cruises. Yeah. And that's another thing that we heard. The crowd was much younger than usual. Like we've joked about what we heard versus the reality. Like we heard that on Holland America, it's an older crowd. Yes, it's an older crowd. We heard on Princess, it's an older crowd. But no, it was a younger crowd, and these people were partying. They were dancing and partying and getting wild and crazy. And at 11:30 at night, midnight, the Atrium area, the Piazza is still pumping, and there are people dancing and being entertained. So they were having a good time. They knew what they wanted.
Crazy Cat Tower said, "Who is the CD? I think Princess is almost as good as Carmel with the director." Gosh, I forgot her name.
I don't know her name, but
it was a lady.
She was pleasant.
Yeah, it was a female cruise director.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
She wasn't as wild and crazy as like some of the Carnival ones, but she had a great personality, and she was out there with all the shows and introducing things, and she made her presence known. Whereas there's some cruise lines where you don't even know if there is a cruise director.
Yes. So. Yes. Yeah, Nancy, right? Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that about Grand Turks Margaritaville. Yeah. Well, we were there for, what do you think, 3 hours? We were probably there for about 3 hours. 2 ships in port, so it was full. The place was packed. But we got there. We were on the ledge. We were in the water there. And
I don't think
it was about 2 hours and 25 minutes until someone finally came around that we could order a bucket of beer.
And I don't think they serve food by the pool anymore.
I don't think they did either. And maybe you could have ordered it, but they don't get. It was brutal. It was brutal. I'll just tell you that much.
Yeah, and there were people standing around that could have taken an order, but they were just standing
and so
around.
We had to go up to the little. There's like a little
playing
bar.
on their phones and whatever they were doing.
You can be. Yes, that's exactly what they were doing. You could be inside the restaurant part and get a table. John and Diamond went in and had something to eat and get a drink.
And do that,
and you could do that. And there's like an outside bar that you could walk up to. So I walk up to the bar and I'm like, let me get a bucket of beers. And the guy's like, okay. So then he takes out a bag.
Oh yeah,
like a plastic bag.
Oh, yeah, everyone got bags of beers.
So the bucket of beers was now a bag of beers. And so I'm holding this. I'm like bear hug. I'm holding it like my child, like a newborn child, so it doesn't drop. And I'm worried about it. And they open all the beers there, so I'm holding them so they don't spill. And there's like 12 ice cubes in the bag. And then I go to put it down on the next to us, and it's all in bottles. They don't give you any glasses. And then I grab a bottle and I'm in the beer, and then one of the security guys blows a whistle at me and says, you can't have a bottle in the pool. I'm like, well, dude, what do you want me to do? It was brutal.
Yes, Nancy, they were bags of beer.
Bags of beer.
It was crazy. I've never seen such a thing.
It was wild. So, there's a few bumps in the road on the cruise ship, and Margaritaville has gone way, way down. But Heidi Leskin said, I've never been a big fan of Grand Turk. Not sure why folks are always were shocked. I'd rather stay on the ship, honestly. You're not wrong about that. Yeah. You are not wrong. Did you love the Medallion experience? So, Tweety, we did.
We did.
We loved it.
I loved it. I missed that I didn't have a card to bring home to put with our collection of cards, but I love the Medallion.
You got a Medallion now.
Yeah, I got a Medallion now. Mm-hmm. So.
Yes, and it took us a minute to figure out like how it works. When we walked up to our cabin, there's an electronic like little LCD screen out front that had a picture of us. And we're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then we're like, oh no, this isn't good though, because then everyone knows who's in the cabin.
But
Like,
then we figured it out.
But
Yeah,
then we
the
realized
picture
that
goes
when you
away.
walk away, it just goes to a generic screen. But when you get close, it kicks in. It registers that you're there with a medallion, and then it'll actually unlock the door. So when you get to your cabin at night, or when you come stumbling
Like
back
you're-
to the room
you're
at 2 in the morning,
Like you're
you walk up and the door just opens because of the medallion.
And you can hear it click. Like when you're a few feet away from your cabin and you're walking up, you just kind of hear this little click, and you can hear the door open.
Yeah, John and Diamond were there with us. They said it was the first time at Margaritaville going Turk,
I
and the
know.
last time.
I
We were
know.
like, yeah, come with us. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have fun. And they were like,
We told
okay.
the company, we were like, let's go to Margaritaville.
sorry, guys.
It's usually a good time. And we felt so bad because it's never been that way before. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yes, right. Test says bags of open bottles of beer served at the pool. Yes, it was brutal. Luckily, I was able to get a couple of them left unopened. I figured out how to pop it open with my GoPro handle. So, but yes, it was crazy. It was definitely crazy. All right, so entertainment stuff. That stuff was great. What else you got? I know you got a couple notes here.
So
Venue size. We heard some people talk about the size of the venues.
Oh, we talked about that already.
But I found that there was a lot of room and there's a lot of place for people to go and hang out, whether it's right in the Piazza area on all 3 levels, or whether a few other places.
There was also an area called Princess Live, which we didn't really go in there much to do it. We didn't really participate in any of those, but they did a lot of trivia, bingo.
Yes.
The comedians were in there sometimes and things like that. And it looked pretty full most of the time, but we saw seats as well. So I don't know if there's really a problem with not having enough space in there.
Correct.
But it was a nice little area. It looked to be a nice little area.
Kevin Brubaker said, so you're saying if I sail Princess, I don't need the tattoo on the bottom of my foot that says my stateroom number and where to return me to? Well, you might. I mean, I can't speak for you yourself and the condition you'll be in at the
You're
end of the
still
day.
going to want something to tell you your room number, because unless you want to walk up and down all the halls until you see which door opens.
Yes, that is good. That is good. Well, it's been a while. We were laughing because it had been a while since we were on a cruise ship where we really just felt lost. Like the last couple cruises were ships we were either familiar with or we had been on before at a different time or a couple years earlier or whatever the case was. And so we did research before this cruise because one person watched a video and said, "Oh, too bad you didn't research. I thought you would have researched the cruise ship." And we're like, "Yeah, we did, but there had been some changes to the ship." Number one, and number two, we didn't just go whole. We wanted to leave a little bit to the imagination.
I like to kind of figure out things on my own, and it makes it more exciting sometimes.
Well, everyone's like, "Oh, you can go to the app and just say find this, and your medallion will take you there." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know that stuff. I didn't take a 4-hour tutorial on the app before we got on.
Yeah.
I just want to use the app for the basic stuff. I'm good."
I mean, it wasn't that hard to navigate the ship. I mean, everything's right by the elevators. You can see where to go. It's just
and the interactive LED screens were awesome by the elevators and in other places where you scroll for what you want to find, and that got us where we need to go. It took about a day and a half, about two, maybe by the end of the second day, I had a good grip or so on where we head. Jamie Wilhite, how are you doing? Hope you're doing
we
good.
can talk about this.
Hold on, but Jamie's got a quick question here. Does Princess have a self-service laundry?
They do.
They do have a self-service laundry. If you look, I did a ship tour, and that video's out. And once I got up to the top of the ship, one of the higher levels, there was a self-service laundromat that I bought.
There's only one.
Very small.
I think they're all the same on this ship, but I could be wrong. But there was just like one washer and dryer in each one. Whereas like some ships you might go into a laundry room and they may have a couple of each or so. But yeah, kind of small. But they did have them.
Yes.
I saw this. Chris be cruising says where their jacuzzis.
How were the jacuzzis? Were they
they?
nice and toasty or lukewarm like on Carnival? We didn't get in a jacuzzi, so I can't answer that.
We did go in the pools, and I think there was plenty of space in the pools. They weren't overly crowded. Although I wasn't a fan of the pools. You liked them more than I did.
Well,
I didn't like them because. Okay, so all right,
pool deck conversation. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we can start on that. So, we went in the pool, and I don't know. There were different pools on the ship, and some might have been different. But the one we went in on the Lido deck, I think it was was it like 4 feet 9 inches deep. But to get in, you have to go down just a little ladder, get in, and you get in and out that way. But when you get in, like for me, it came like up to here on me. So it's not like you could stand in there and socialize, have a drink or anything, like it wasn't a friendly environment to kind of just hang out and chat and do that kind of thing. It was almost more, I felt like a pool to swim in.
Well, it is a swimming pool,
well,
Sharon.
I know, but it was just weird. Like
I thought there were 2 pools on the main deck. I thought they were both they were both good size, and each one had a ladder. What was funny though is every time I kept seeing people would get to the pool, take 2 steps down the ladder, and then
they would
sit there in the place where the ladder was.
Yeah, that's because there was nowhere else to sit, and if you get into the water, like I said, it came up to here on
If
me.
you're shorter,
so
then you might be like.
If you're short, if you're like 5 foot tall and you get into the pool, I mean, it's going to be up to here. You can't like just hang out in there unless you're swimming or something. So it just wasn't really a fun pool like that. And I don't know if all the pools are.
Well, they had like the 3 inches of water, like ledge going around, and there were a lot of people that were sitting on the edge of the pool with their feet in there.
You could do that,
but it wasn't conducive to being in the pool, hanging out and socializing.
Yeah, so I just wasn't a fan of the pool.
Now we never made it into in the aft part of the ship on like deck 8 or so. There was a pool and a hot tub.
Those were the same though, because when we were at
the Americana.
We looked out there and we could see the pool, and it was all just like one level again, like that. It didn't kind of angle down. It was just all one level. You get in, and it looked. Everyone that was standing in it, the water was kind of like up to here on it. Looked like so.
It was quite weird
because
we get seated in this restaurant at the after the ship, the Americana Diner. It's like a casual version of an MBR on the ship. And we're sitting there all the way in the back, and we sit down, and I look, and I can see the pool down there. I'm like, oh, that pool looks really nice. And it was a see-through pool, like it was just clear, so you can see everyone. So I'm sitting there eating my lunch, and I look over, but I can see everyone full body in the water, just doing their thing. And there's like a guy like with double fisting beers over the ledge, just kind of hanging out, and you're seeing a lot of different bodies and a lot of shapes and sizes of bodies and things like that. And it was weird. So Tweety, it was voyeuristic for sure, because I'm eating my lunch, and I'm like, okay, what's that guy doing in that pool? That guy have 2 beers at once, it was just kind of it was an odd placement.
Yeah.
It was odd. It was very odd placement. So what are you gonna do? It is what it is. We didn't make it into that pool. It took me a minute.
We went into the one pool, and I after that I just really didn't care to go back to the pool.
I was fine. I loved the pool. I hopped in there. I swam around. It was good for me. I was tall enough that it wasn't an issue. But yeah, one end of the pool was tall enough that it was like 5'9", 5'10", or something like that. So you could definitely swim in there. You could do laps in there and that kind of thing. So that would be.
But that's why I think
Stephanie Davy, yes, you would be screwed in there at 4'11".
Oh,
you would have you would.
Yeah.
It'd be good, Stephanie.
Swim laps.
If you went in the pool and if you got in the pool at the same time, we could actually rest our drink on your head. She said, "Insert short joke here," so I did.
Oh, God.
You could just stand there. If you could hold your breath for a while, the top of your head could be a beer holder. So that would be cool. Yes, you could do a little scuba diving. That's right. You could roll out in the scuba gear. It might freak some people out, but too few. Tilted Speed, what's up? Thanks for being here. Too few seats in the Dome was on the first 5-day. Dome only offered 2 shows the entire trip.
Yeah.
Also in the Sanctuary, no priority boarding, no reserved seating until night 3. Princess Prizes didn't work. We noticed that. We heard about it.
I know.
That didn't work.
Every time I opened our door, I'm like, did we win? And it's always like, you're not winning.
All right, so speaking of prizes, so really quick, let's talk casino. It's always a hot topic. People said it's the biggest Princess casino they've seen, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a casino.
Not compared to other ships.
Now, when we went in there on day 1 during the day, I was like, oh, God, it's beautiful in here. It's so clean. I love the decor.
That's before anyone was in there.
Yes, but then like on night 2, we went in there when it was packed on a sea day, and it was bad. It was not maintained. It was very dirty. It stunk like smoke. You had glasses, ashtrays. I mean, it was not cleaned on the regular.
Every night and every day we walked through there, it was packed. One day we actually kind of gambled, both of us, I think. Well, a couple times, but the first time I finally found a slot machine, and if you have a favorite slot machine, you probably won't find that one. It's just like you might find one random one to sit at. And then all the tables, like the poker tables, there was not a chair empty. Like there was just nothing. Even the roulette table.
Yeah, there were always a few tables not
packed.
going. Unlike
Everything
Holland America,
was
which was the ghost town of the casino.
Yeah.
This was packed. But
yeah,
you're right.
it was constantly packed.
But you
all
sit
the
down like
time.
you want to sit down, but when you sit down, there's a 3/4 full ashtray right here. There's a drink glass from someone beforehand. And it was just like, there's like a crushed up pack of cigarettes on the corner of the thing.
They didn't have anyone really going
you just
around
needed
the,
one guy to be rolling through there with a bin, going boom, 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 wipe it down. That's all you needed. It would have made such a big difference. So Shane Reed said, it seems like the technology should be better for removing the smoke. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know how heavy. It's hard to tell the difference between different casinos. I mean, years ago it was much worse. But it's being non-smokers, you can tell. You can tell for sure.
Yeah, and it was worse at different times too.
Yes.
But I mean I have been in worse casinos, but it was pretty smoky.
Yeah, Kevin, that's our horrible jokes. Kevin said short-staffed, so the pool isn't safe for the staff either. So they're short-staffed. Unbelievable, that guy. Unbelievable. The casino in the Firenze was busy, but they kept it clean, right? Debbie Raines, what's up? Hope you and Clark are doing good. Congratulations on your Cardinal victory, by the way. Tess says, I enjoy having a bar in the casino on the Carnival Liberty since ships, don't have that much anymore. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was tough. And bar service was, I don't know where these people got all the drinks they left laying around because I certainly didn't see much in the way of bar service. I think maybe I got one drink in the casino, but that's because it was like a sea day when I just popped in there in the afternoon. And that might be the best bet. I mean, if you want to gamble, maybe... and you want it to be the least amount of mess and smoke and all that. And hey, and maybe that was an odd night. Maybe that was just one night where someone wasn't available, and maybe 3 of the other 5 nights it was clean as a whistle and they kept it good. All I can tell you is all we can tell you about is our experience in the moment when we were there. It could have been a one-off, just like when we went to the Crown Grill.
Yeah.
People were saying, "Oh, that's crazy. We can't believe it. It must have been this. It could have been this. It could have been that. It could have been a lot of things." But what it was a really, really bad experience in a restaurant that only has 8 items on the main menu. I mean, literally, when the guy came up and said to us in the Crown Grill that I'm sorry, but I don't have any idea how long it'll be till your entree comes out. He was like saying, I don't know how hungry you are, but if you're really hungry, you might want to leave and go someplace else. And that's the vibe that I got from the guy. And that was
but other than the specialty restaurants, everything else was great. The MDR, pretty much everywhere else we ate, was good. The food was good and the service, except Alfredo's was a little weird with the service, but the food was really good.
Well, that was great.
All the other places we went, the buffet, the eatery, it was great. I mean, we had no issues there.
The promenade stuff was good, right? They had that was a really nice thing that I liked,
the International Cafe.
Well, no, not that. I mean, like the promenade area outside of the eatery buffet is a promenade outside area with pizza and burgers and salads and a bar and stuff like that. And the same setup is up on the Lido deck as well by the pool. And I liked them having that accessibility, in addition to the buffet. So it was able to get people off the buffet line outside to another area if they wanted some different food. Yeah. And Debbie, to answer your question, Clark, that's actually for either week or both weeks, however you want to use it. He said Clark wants to know, is that congratulations for last week or this week? Let's see. Yeah, it sounds like it's a good thing we don't gamble if we go in the sun. Heidi, you might be right about that. That was a bummer about the Crown Grill. I believe the premium package is overwhelming specialty dining. Yeah. It might have been.
I think so too. Because we, when we booked the plus package. And then before we left, we got upgraded to the premier package. So we thought, oh, great. So we can have unlimited specialty dining. Well, by that time, everything was pretty much sold out except for Crown Grill and Catch by Rudy's.
Yes.
But they said, oh, when you get on board, you'll probably be able to book something. Well, since everything was so crazy on board, nothing else was open. So we had booked Crown Grill twice and Rudy's once.
Yes. And we wouldn't have gone to Crown Grill the second time, except they they really surprised us and did a
Right.
fantastic thing after our night at Crown.
Yeah, the
Royal.
next day they had given us both $100 onboard credit as a goodwill gesture for the bad service, and we didn't complain or anything. We said nothing, but so that was great that they
Yeah.
did that. But so we're like, okay, we're going to give them a second chance. So we did, and it was better. It was a lot better. I mean, everything was good the second time, except for my steak was undercooked. But the service was great, so
Yes.
not going to complain.
Vincent H says, if you come close to the bulletin board, huge TV screens, and if you have a celebration entered in the app, it'll pop up like a happy birthday anniversary. But yes, everything that they're doing with that, with the app and with
Yeah.
the medallion, I like it. And I didn't think I was going to like it nearly as much as I did, because I'm
Yeah.
old school. I like the card. I want to have a card. I want a color on my card. I want you
Yeah.
to know how many times I've cruised. That's my one,
I think
you
we'll
know,
do
perk that I like to
more-
have around my neck. And
more things
So-
next time. I mean, this time we were just so focused on seeing the ship, doing some of the things that we wanted to do, and things like that. Since it was our first Princess cruise, that there were a lot of things that we didn't really take the time to do and explore. So
that's right. That is right. Let's see. Tilted Speed said the service was awesome. Room staff all excellent. Our cabin steward was pretty solid.
he was good. We didn't
Right, he
see
did a
him
good
much,
job. His
but
name was
he
Lay. We
good.
saw him in the hallway all the time. He was
Yeah.
nice, friendly. If we needed anything, he was there for
He
us.
did our room. He came in, and did our room every day. Earlier in the day, every night he came and turned down our bed and everything.
Yes.
Made us
So he
a
was on point.
couple towel animals, and yeah, he was good.
Yeah. So that was solid. And as far as the cabin goes, like, we liked the cabin. Brand new, look good, sleek, modern, and all that kind of stuff. And the only, I think, negative is just that's the smallest bathroom we've ever. Like, every cruise, it's like the bathroom gets smaller and smaller.
I know the new ships. Yeah.
And I don't know whether they just, I guess the people that are designing these ships weigh about $1.25 soaking wet, and they've never actually been on a cruise, because they make these things, it's such a challenge and so uncomfortable. I'm sorry, but if you're going to go to the bathroom, you have to have room to put your knees out
I would have
at some point to finish handling your business.
But it wasn't even the toilet like part of it. When you walk in the little area where you're in front of your sink, you have your shower here, the toilet here, and their sink here. Just that little area that you stand where if you're I don't usually get dressed in the bathroom because there's really not enough room there. But if you were getting dressed there, trying to dry off there, or even standing there, just doing anything in front of the sink, brushing your teeth, there's not that much room there. Like, I felt like just very proud of myself. And like one day when I was getting dressed in there one time, I think after I was putting some shorts on or something, and I picked my knee up to slip my leg in there, and it bumped the counter, and I hit my knee. So it's like there's just no room. And then
Listen,
the shower,
if you're having trouble in there, then that's a problem.
And then the shower it's long, like when you're standing there, it's kind of long enough this way, but it's very narrow, and it just felt weird. It just felt small.
I told you, if I stood in there with my arms to the side, facing the faucet there, the shower head, my right arm is touching the glass and my left arm is touching.
And then to get out of the shower,
the wall.
You have to open the door. When you open the door, you have to get out, and you almost have to kind of wiggle your way back.
You got to lean over. You got to lean over the toilet
to get the door shut.
Yes.
To get back into your little spot in the middle. Like, it is the oddest setup. I've been in other smaller cruise line bathrooms, but I think this was the worst for size, the layout.
Yes, it was brutal. Oh, and one other comment I saw, Tilted Speed, who I guess was on their, on the previous sailing, comment about the dome show. So one thing that was odd was that there was a second dome show on our cruise, but what was funny is that it wasn't in the app. We looked on the app and it wasn't listed there, but it was listed in the patter, because they still give you their patter, which is their daily, little paper with everything going on. So you saw it and actually highlighted it in the patter.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure we went to the next one.
And we saw our friends John and Diamond at one point on was it the last night or the night before the last night? One of those nights. Yeah. And we said, hey, are you guys going to the dome show? And they're like, yeah, there is no dome show tonight. We're like, no, there is.
I know. And I'm like, I know, I saw.
And when we got back to the cabin, I took a picture of the patter and I messaged it to him. And so we talked to him later. He goes, yeah, there was hardly anybody there.
Yeah, 'cause no
because
one
for
knew
some
about
reason it
that
wasn't on the app. So make sure that if you're on that ship, cross-reference
The physical
the
pattern
pattern
with the app.
and the stuff in the app.
So Tweety said, bummer about the Crown Grill. I believe the premier package is overwhelming specialty dining. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's not part of it as well, because with the premier package, you get unlimited specialty dining. And so everyone that's getting premier, they're wanting to go to specialty dining every night. And these specialty dining restaurants just aren't large enough to accommodate that many people, you know, because even when we went to the main dining room, there was hardly anyone in there eating. Like, I felt like it was empty.
Right. Bobby had a question. Did you notice a variety of food at the buffet changed nightly? We didn't eat dinner in the buffet.
Yeah, we didn't. We
But
ate
breakfast was
lunch and
solid.
breakfast.
And lunch was
couple
very
times.
good. But just make sure, my first instinct was that since there are two sides of the buffet, that you were probably going to find a lot of similar things. But I was wrong. I found that there was a variety and different things on one side, on the port side versus the starboard side. So make sure you take a full lap around that buffet first before you settle in and decide what you want to get, because we saw some different things. They even have like pre-made sandwiches that you can heat in an oven there, which was a nice touch, and some stuff like that. So, but definitely good variety on there.
Beverly Juka said, on the first day, was the dining room open for lunch to give you an alternate to the buffet? Yes, it was open, but it was only open till I think 1. And by the time we got on the ship, it was like 12:30. So it really...
It was 1:30. I think it was 11 to 1:30 were the hours. Yeah. So, and we were bummed about that because we wanted to go there. And
that's
that
where
was
we were
our
planning
plan
to go originally.
Yeah, but by the time we got a little situated, it was around 2. So the first thing we did was we tried to go to O'Malley's pub, and they did have food there. They were open for lunch, and then they closed, and then they reopened.
And there were tables, but it was kind of busy. But then
it was busy, but we went in there.
But there was only one person.
Then we went in there and got a table and sat down right away. But more people started filing in, and there was one bartender and there was one server.
No one had food
and
yet.
That was it. And
we're like,
this is gonna take too long.
I'm not going to wait for that. We were hungry and we had a lot of other things we wanted to see and do. So we're like, I'm not going to waste 2 or 3 hours.
So we didn't get our embarkation lunch in a dining room, and then we didn't get our debarkation. And for embarkation day lunch, it wasn't the Americana diner that was open. That was opening later. I think it was one of the other dining rooms, maybe the Eclipse or the Soleil, that I read was open for lunch on that first day. But yet we didn't get anything but a dinner.
The Soleil, I think.
Yes. So there you go. Yes, right. Just when you thought a bathroom couldn't get smaller, boom, they go ahead and make it smaller. Crazy Cat Tyler said, my Crown Princess sailing had engine issues causing 2 itinerary changes. Didn't complain, but I got a 50% future cruise credit. That's kind of nice.
That's nice.
Carnival Corporation does do people right. And I'll tell you what, and them doing that thing where they gave us that onboard credit for our Crown Grill experience,
that's probably
really shows what a situation we had.
Yeah.
They stopped letting people like they stopped reservations. We talked to someone who was there a couple nights later, and they had mentioned how when they went there for their reservation that was after ours on that first night there, that they were told, I'm sorry, we had to cancel reservations. We can't let anybody else in. And we had a 6:30 reservation, and if you watch the video we put out, when we left there at about 9:30 or so, maybe 9:45ish, it was a ghost town. There was like 2 other tables in there. Everything else was done. And you know that they'll take reservations up until 8, 9 o'clock in these places, and people would have still been there till 10, 10:30. So they definitely stopped taking reservations and having people in. So, they did us right. They took care of it. It was disappointing to have that happen in the first place, but whatever. Hey, we did it. Janelle said, what room type was it? Balcony cabin, deck 14419, I think was the number.
Yeah, it was like the deluxe, premium deluxe balcony. It had where the ship kind of angled out there in the middle. It was one of those angled balconies that angle out. So we had like the larger long balcony.
Christopher Scott, we never tried the aft elevators on the Sun Princess. I know that we saw them. I saw them all the way in the back, especially when I did my ship tour. But I never actually got in and tried them to go up and down. And one thing that was very odd was there were 2 decks. Deck 9, which is where the buffet area was, and all that, and also deck 17, the Lido deck, where half of the deck was cabins, and the other half was stuff. Like I've never been on a Lido deck where half of the ship on deck 17. That's where this was. The rear half of the ship is cabins, and then the front half is the pool and the dome and the front view area and all that kind of stuff.
We've been on other Lido decks where there's cabins in the front and the mid and after.
Well, maybe there's like a 15, like I don't know. This was like an entire half of the ship. Maybe there's a couple Lido decks with a handful of cabins way up in the front, but this was just a weird deal. And the same thing on deck 9 of the ship. The forward half of the ship going from the front all the way to the midship elevator was all cabins. Yeah. And then you come out of the midship elevator, and then you're at the piazza area, and it starts. So it was just odd that they had a full half a deck with all cabins, and then the other half was stuff. Yeah. It was a little weird.
Wendy says it's raining in California. Oh, and we might get a little rain here. It's supposed to rain a little bit here in the next couple of days. Although it was like 91 today, so it cooled down quite a bit.
You better head to the inside so you don't melt. Wendy, it
actually says it's supposed to rain, and I just started this big project around the house, and I had to bring everything inside. I'm refinishing our kitchen dining table and chairs, and I had it all outside yesterday, and I sanded down all the chairs, and I'm getting ready to paint them and varnish whatever at the top and everything.
Oh, your project is
my project
full swing.
And so I had to bring it all and put it on hold for a couple of days in case it rains.
Yeah, we don't want you out there getting rained on.
So I'm excited about my project.
Well, another thing that was weird, and we've gotten a lot of feedback on it from our video, was allergies.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time that we did not get questioned at every turn in every restaurant on a cruise ship about, do you have allergies?
More than
NPL,
once.
Carnival, Royal, all of it. On Holland America, it was constant. And on this cruise, not one time, I'm not exaggerating, not one time did we sit down anywhere and anyone say, hi, welcome, do you have any food allergies?
And I know that they say, it's in the app, or, and that's okay. And we filled out everything. We don't have any allergies, so it didn't affect us.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we didn't get asked. Maybe if you have allergies, then they question you more extensively or whatever. I don't know. But I just found it kind of to me, even though I don't have allergies, and maybe this is because I working as a nurse and things, like I find that to be such a big deal that you should always ask if someone has allergies, because what if they're new and they don't know about putting it in the app, or they didn't fill anything out, they didn't let anyone know, and then all of a sudden they have something that causes some kind of severe reaction. I mean, you never know.
Listen, with the chaos that we experience in some of the dining venues, with someone who doesn't know what a Miller Lite is and ask me how to spell it for her, and then you want me to believe that they're going to be all over the filled out allergy thing that I put in the app.
I did.
That's what we've gotten 25 comments on our video that says, oh, well, yeah, you just go in the app and you tell them.
I did see
really?
somebody, when we were in the buffet area and I was at the omelet station getting ready to order my omelet, there was someone in front of me, and I did hear her ask them, can you get a clean pan? Because I don't know what's in the oil that you just used. I need a clean pan for my omelet. So she obviously had some sort of allergy.
Yes.
And she made them, I guess, aware like that. But,
yes.
We just found it weird that it was never asked. And
that's right.
Like
Crispy Cruising, yes. Yeah, we just talked about that earlier in the live stream. So now you have to go back and watch the whole thing again, okay? But no, I heard the trick to seeing the show at the Dome is to get to the bar early. That's correct. Yeah. If you get there, I mean, you can get in line early, but if you get to the Cascade Bar early, and it's not a timing thing we mentioned, they count how many people are in there, and then once they have a certain amount in there, they close the door. So yes, that is a trick to do. And then once you're in there, it's probably like another 40 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes until the doors actually open to let people in. So that is a very good thing. So yes, it is true. Yes, we did it. And yes, it was awesome. Let's see.
I feel like it sounds like we're kind of bashing the ship, and it's funny because maybe we're just talking about the negative things more so than the positive. But there were so many positive things, and like I said, I would go on the ship again in a heartbeat.
That's right.
we had a great time.
It was. Yes, there was a great. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, hey, you've been on a lot of cruises, so we know what we want to expect from it. Like, what do we love? International Cafe. We loved it. It was awesome. Coffee places everywhere. We loved it.
I loved the coffee and cones with those desserts and having the gelato.
The crooner bar. I love that whole crooner bar
loved all
setup.
that.
Good alcohol all over the place. Although
Lots of activities. You know, there's always something to do. If someone went on this ship and tried to say they were bored, I would probably not believe them, because there are things going on all the time, all over this ship, and there's really no reason you can be bored.
Dan Rule says, "Yeah, I'm allergic to horseradish, so I avoid cocktail sauce, wasabi, and stuff like that. But what if it's used in a dish or as a seasoning? It could be scary." Yep, you're right about that. And Tess says, "No, I don't know. I mean, listen, some comments are rude, but some are just like the thing is that people don't read other comments, so they just make their comment. But you get like 20 comments saying, well, yeah, you just put your information in the app, and then they know because of your medallion if you have allergies."
I said next time maybe we'll have to put.
We're going to check.
Next time we'll have to put that one of us has allergies and just see what.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
We'll try an experiment.
Yeah, like as you're sitting at the table and your throat's closing and your face is puffing out and you can't breathe anymore and you're on your last leg, and then you go, "Oh, but I put it in. It's in the app."
Yeah.
I put it in the app, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry, I was busy. I forgot to check. I didn't check your app." Let's see. What's the terminal number for Sun Princess? I saw your Embarcation Day with the long line. We'll be on her this coming Saturday. Running near, and it was Terminal 2. And the terminal's nice because it's the terminal is like before you enter the main port area. Because when I went on Royal Caribbean out of Fort Lauderdale, that we actually entered the main port area for where that terminal was. We had to show our ID as we went through. But here we didn't have to do that. And I don't know if that was simply I don't know what the deal was with the long line, but it was very weird.
I saw in a Facebook group for the following week that someone posted some pictures of the line looking quite similar. I don't know. So Tweety, you were on that. If how that was for your sailing, but I did see someone post pictures, and it looked like it was a similar type of a situation with a lot of people. And maybe that'll get better. But they have like a range of time to show up, and I think everyone just likes to show up at the beginning of that time time, and even earlier than that.
Yes.
So
well, they do a big. Their range was 11:30 to like 2 or 2:30 was the time frame. We got there at 11:20. Like, okay, we'll be a tiny bit early, but there was tons.
But
of people
everyone was there already. So everyone just showed up. And everyone's excited to get on the ship.
And our issue wasn't with the amount of people that were there per se. It was with the kind of the chaos and the confusion of the line. There was not one. We did not encounter one princess representative from getting out of.
Trying to get up to the door.
Yeah, from getting out of the Uber and giving our luggage to the porter, to when we got right to the door, and there's one guy right as you enter the door, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people in line. Actually, it's a testament to the Princess Cruisers. They made their own lines, and they were pretty dang organized for having no direction. There were no signs or anything, and there was nothing like elite line, priority line, suites.
Yeah.
There was not. We had a number of people like were cutting through the line because someone had a mobility accessibility issue or whatever to get in. We had some people get in front of us. Some guys like, "Hey, would you mind if we got here? She's got a cane." And I'm like, "Hey, I got a limp, whatever." But no, but we didn't say that. But it was this wild that there was no direction, and that was surprising. As we got out of there, that was our first experience, and we're like, this is a little odd. I wouldn't have expected that.
She said her line was super long too, but they got through in 35 minutes. Well, that's good. I mean, it took us about an hour to get through the line, but we were a little like there were a lot of people there when we got there.
We got there about quarter after 11, 20 after 11, and it was a little after 12:30, I think, when we got on board.
Although once we got in there, we just kept moving and went through the terminal, went through security and all that, and we walked right on the ship. So, we didn't have to wait. We didn't go inside the terminal and have to sit and wait for them to say, okay, this group's going to board.
And maybe that's where the problem was, because maybe they didn't actually bring people in and then have them sit to wait. they had everybody just waiting in line, and then they finally just said, "Okay, we're clear, and now let's roll." So, and I know it's a new ship in a new area, and I know it takes a minute to kind of get your groove
But
on
it
for
did
that.
move. I mean, the line continually moved. It was just long.
Yeah. John and Diamond, yeah, they were there before us. They said the line was long, but it kept moving, so it wasn't too bad. But it was interesting how people made their own line. Yeah, they just figured it out. They just went back and forth like a snake line. So, and there were certainly a couple people trying to cut, like, "Oh, hey, Bob, Sue, nice to see you." Oh, yeah, they go over and start talking to him, and then they'd forget to get back into their part of the line. So, happens everywhere. Depends on how many cocktails you had if you really want to, get into it with them. Yeah, Daniel Field says, yeah, that's the port. It could have been a port thing for sure, but definitely no representatives out there, which struck us as a little odd. So, let's see what else. Historically, they're much more organized for Princess sailings at that port with an elite line and a lounge. Yes.
Yeah. There was no priority or anything.
Oh yeah, I'd be mad if I was elite status and there was nowhere. Yeah. Oh, there were people that were pissed off, and there were people that were mad all throughout the cruise. A lot of regular Princess cruisers. We overheard conversations. We read stuff online. A lot of regular Princess cruisers were not happy with anything going on the ship. On the last day, during the breakfast at the last day, I had some guy that was so mad. He's talking about, you got 1,000 people are going to be writing emails on this ship. I mean, he was pissed off in the buffet that last morning. And so yeah, there were some bumps. There were some bumps. But maybe Princess wasn't, maybe it's been a while since they had a new ship come out, and maybe they don't realize. I don't know. I mean, they did that whole media trip for people the week before, so obviously they're aware of the impact of vloggers or online, people that are sailing.
Yeah, but that was everything was planned out for that. They had everyone doing certain things. So it was a big planned event. So
I know we had a couple of people like, "Thank you for your honest review." I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure," because I think everyone before that, everything had been groovy. Like, "Oh, it was fabulous," and we're like, "Oh, yeah, we had a few bumps." And I guess the final thing is that you have an expectation. You're given an expectation of what it's going to be like. You're stepping up in a level of class within the company, And Princess, you're expecting things to just be really fine tuned and on point at every turn. Everything's a little fancier, a little nicer, a little cleaner, a little more professional. And then when you run into some situations, you're like, whoa, this is not what we expected. That's where the negative stuff comes out, because that's what really stands out, is you're expecting one experience and you're getting a total different one. So I don't know. What else you got? Is there anything we missed?
I was just going to so the Princess Plus and Premier package.
Oh, yeah.
So, a lot of people always ask about those. And I feel like most everyone always gets the Plus package. I book a lot of Princess cruises, and
someone had a comment and said, "Did you do something special to get the bump up to the Premier package, or was that?"
That was just a perk that was given to us by Princess so that we could try out the Premier package and basically let people know how great it is. Well, unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for us. So, and we gave our honest review, but my thing is about the Princess Premier and Plus. If I don't think the Premier package myself for us. Now it depends. If you're someone that is a foodie and you want to eat at specialty restaurants all the time, the fact that they include it now, you may want that. Like, that might be a good thing for you. For us, I'm not a big foodie. I do like going to some specialty dining. You like it, but you're happy just going to the main dining room too. Mm. So for us, it's really not a big deal. Like, we can take it or leave it when it comes to specialty dining. So I don't feel like it's worth it for us. The other perks you get are you get some of the extra desserts, whereas with the Plus, you already get 2 a day of those fancy desserts. I mean, how many more of those do you really need? And
really, because apparently you need more because you were ready for more.
Well,
every time you talked about.
I wanted to get my fair share, but anyways, and then you do get unlimited pictures. You can get digital pictures. So if you want to take a lot of pictures, and you know how expensive pictures are, those were included as well. But one thing is, I only noticed on formal night, we noticed a lot of photo stands, so we took some pictures. And then what? Then another night went by. Then the next night, I was like, "Oh, let's go take some pictures because they're included, and that way we might as well, you know." And we couldn't find any picture places. So it's
There
like,
weren't many.
yeah, so they weren't a lot of them around, and so that was kind of disappointing, I guess.
Well,
that
less
was
of a sales pitch. Some people get annoyed by this.
there's
So many
only
camera people.
well, and I don't want all of my pictures on just normal night. You don't want them all from the same night. You want a
Yeah.
variety. So and then the drink limit, it's up to $15 for the plus package, which is fine. All the drinks were fine that we got, and you get up to $20 with the premier package, but we didn't really need that. I mean, well, we had one situation the one night, you can tell the funny story, but for me, I think the plus package is a good package to go with, and unless you're a big foodie and want to eat at specialty dining all the time,
Yes.
I don't feel like the premier package is really worth the extra money.
Well, and that's funny too. And
And they both include your gratuities.
And here's something where on other cruises, I've had people tell me about this instance, although they didn't have to, and I was caught off guard by it. But the premier package we had, the drinks cap out at $20, 15 on the plus, $20 for the premier.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was 15 for the plus, and then the premier was a higher number. I wasn't paying attention to the 20. So when we got into the Crown restaurant that first night or the second night, the Crown Grill, the one person that did come right away was the person to see what we wanted to drink. The drink chef, we called him or whatever. And so they came over and I looked at the wine menu and they had Camus by the glass. And Camus, I've had Camus before. I really like that wine. So I'm like, I'll have that.
You have to buy a bottle for
Well,
that.
the Camus is $28 a glass. All right. So it's definitely expensive. And I was like, oh, I'm drinking the Camus. So at one point, and of course, dinner's taking forever. So I had 4 glasses of Camus because the one person I could get more stuff from was the drink person. As a matter of fact, at one point, a guy brings an extra glass and says, I'll take care of this one for you. So I ended up paying for 3 glasses of Camus. Well, at one point in dinner, I go, well, Sharon, it's not too bad. At least I get to sit here enjoying a $28 glass of wine. And Sharon's like, how much was it? I'm like, it was 28. She goes, your package only covers up until the first 20. Oh. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, I hope I'm just paying extra for the difference. So sure enough, when we looked at our bill, there was an extra $10 charge because each one had an $8 upcharge and then gratuity that they put on, 18% gratuity. So I'm paying $10 extra. So I paid an extra $30 for the wine that night. And Sharon was making fun of me for not knowing that and laughing. But then I said, I've ordered drinks that are not part of the package many times on cruises. And almost every time I did, the person taking the order said, hey, just so you know, that's not in the package. And I'd be like, okay, no problem. Like maybe you get a bourbon that's costs a little more, whatever. But I've been told that numerous times. Now, it's not their responsibility, it's mine, and I know that I screwed up. But I will say that most every time I've cruised on any cruise line and ordered something not in the package, Holland America did it, Carnival's done it, all, they will say, yes, that's not included. There is a little bit of an upcharge. Are you okay for that? But here they were just like, boom, they just brought it out. And the one other thing, okay, I know we're bashing Princess. One other thing, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, anybody.
It's because this was our first time, so we notice all these things that are different or that we don't pay attention to on other cruise lines.
So for that night, I had 3 drinks, so I got charged extra. There was no notice of it at all. They didn't mention it. I got no paper. I didn't sign anything saying that I got them. Did nothing like that. It just all hit your medallion. And I'm telling you right now, on the TV and on the app, I could not find one place where you could look at your account and see your folio and your account and what you were being charged. We literally had to go down to the guest services on 2 occasions just to say, hey, what are we getting charged? And also just to see and confirm that our onboard credit had been put on and see how much of it we had left going into like the last day. And I went through that whole app. I clicked through everything. I went through everything on the TV. And there was nothing there. And we had other friends we were cruising with who had to do the same thing. They couldn't find anything either. So it's very weird that we couldn't see what we were spending and what our bill was without having to go to get services.
We knew we didn't spend over our onboard credit really though, because we didn't really buy anything on that cruise.
Yeah.
Except for we got a ship model. But
Tweety said, they should tell you, especially since there's no printed receipts anymore.
Yeah.
They should have warned you. Santa Reed said it. So the onboard credit did come in handy. Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, and I'm not gonna lie, we definitely may have gone by the casino one last time before we got off of that ship.
Yeah.
So
Gina said, I think the app was malfunctioning because it didn't work to show us our folio until day 2 of the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I went through that whole
Yeah.
thing, Tweety,
that-
and didn't find it all.
Yeah, we thought it was really weird that you couldn't see it anywhere on there. I mean, it had everything else on there. I mean, you could. I love the Princess app. I mean, you could do all kinds of things on there. But yeah, we were surprised.
Yeah, Deborah A 1999 says, "Wow, I check my folio on a daily basis mainly to make sure all charges are correct." No, I hear you on that. And there were people when we went down to guest services, which was a weird. If you look on the ship tour, where guest services was is very weird. And because of the fact that when you're waiting for guest services, you're in the hallway in front of the elevators, which is uncomfortably warm. That was very weird on its own. But there were other people in line that were there because they had charges and they weren't sure. They didn't know if they had charges for things and they wanted to see their charges. So it must have been a thing with people.
Yeah, so maybe it just was like Tweety said, malfunctioning on our cruise.
Yeah. And it's just different. You know, you just get used to things on one cruise line and then you try something new and it's something different. And you got to get used to it.
And that's why I'm ready to go on another Princess cruise. Like when we went on our first Royal cruise, we didn't have a great time. We went on a second one. We had a great time. I
went on one, had a fabulous time.
But I had
I
had a good time on this cruise, but I'm ready to go on another one.
Yes. So. Let's see. Yeah, right. Wendy Johnson said you always let the customer know about the upcharge. You should, right? You should. But hey, I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit challenging. So if you're going on the Sun Princess anytime soon, just go there with an open mind and give yourself a few extra minutes in some of the dining rooms. Is there a time to discuss the NCL change? Not sure how I feel about more at sea, especially since I don't drink expensive stuff, and it still doesn't include coffee.
Right.
Yeah, crazy catch up. I know.
That's the more at sea, I don't know how well that's. I don't know. They think it's a great thing. I don't know if people are going to think it's so much a great thing because the gratuity portion of that gets added onto your confirmation is higher. So
you're going to pay more. It's more at sea, but it's more money and it's more stuff. And I don't know if the stuff is worth the extra money.
Yeah.
So running near and says, good to know. We got the premiere, but we must make sure which beverages are included. Yes, it says anything $20 and over. There's plenty of wine I could have had.
Under.
What? I'm sorry. Yeah. 20. No, I mean it's 20 and over that's not included. So you just gotta watch that. Everything at $20 and under is gonna be good on your premiere. I was just being fancy and snooty and saying I'll have the Camus. Look at Sharon. They've got a 20. Listen. I'm shallow. I do that when I have a drink package and I go to the dining room. And I want a glass of wine with dinner, I look for the most expensive wine on the menu, and that's what I'm ordering. And I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it's good, bad, whatever. I don't know if it's a Cabernet or Sauvignon or a Merlot. I mean, whatever it is, I want it. I don't care what color it is. I want the expensive stuff because that's the only time I'm ever going to drink expensive wine. So, any day. Anyway, Big Gene Snuggles, what's going on? James, what's that duck doing on your shoulder? we will rather adhere to your sure principles you have on. Thank you very much. Yes, that's right. That's right. What was it?
On your shoulder. The duck probably.
I don't have to drink when I cruise, but I always have fun when I drink, or something like that. I forget. The NCL CEO keeps making public comments that should be reserved for investor meetings. Big yikes, so Tweety. Well, we'll see. We love NCL, so we'll see. We'll be on the Joy here in a couple weeks for our New Year's Eve cruise, and make sure if you're interested, you can go to sharonatsea.com and you can find all of our group cruises coming up, like the one next year that we got going on with the How We Cruise Kids. That's going to be a great time, and a couple other ones, so check those out. And lots of fun coming up around the corner here for us. We're super excited about the Joy and New Year's Eve. It's going to be freaking fabulous. I'm telling you. There's a little talk about the Starbucks. So with the plus and the premiere, coffee's included. Yeah. Any coffee at any of the coffee places. Yeah, so that was really good.
And water too.
That was really good. Yes, that's right. Eric says I'm just joining the live. That means I'll have to watch the rest later. Yeah. I'm new to your channel and can't wait to see the beginning of this live on your Sun Princess. Oh yes. Yeah. You will enjoy it. I don't know. Like we said, it's a little bit of a batch session. We're just talking about the things that stood out to us, and and those are the things that caught us off guard.
Yeah. And it might be a little different, some of the things we say, than maybe someone that's cruised on Princess a lot. Maybe not. I don't know. But like I said, this was also our first Princess cruise.
Yes.
And it's on the Sun Princess,
Yeah.
so.
And we heard the Sun Princess is very different from any other Princess cruise experience. So
Yeah.
we're ready for another one. And Bill Byungo is on the Discovery Princess right now in Cabo San Lucas.
Oh, nice.
What's up, Bill? Hope you're having a great time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy. Let's see. Any possible announcements regarding a certain chicken-themed cruise? Well, we're not. We're, at this time, we don't have any announcements technically, and by the end of November, we will be prepared to announce whether you're going to see us on the coop cruise, the chicken cruise.
The chicken.
But as a reminder, don't forget to get your Big October videos into John over there, our friends on the Ship Show. I got mine submitted just two or 3 days ago, and I think it's gonna be great. Forgot to say hello, all. Eric from Montreal. What's up, Eric? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I saw a bunch of new names out there. I know there's not a ton of people in the live stream now that we're doing it every other week. It's not on the regular and such, but we really appreciate you guys coming and joining us. And Sharon, anything else that you want to cover before we jet on out of here?
I don't know. I think we've talked enough about the Sun Princess.
We've covered the Sun Princess in great detail.
Yeah. Now we need to just move on to another cruise, and maybe in the next few weeks we'll tell you what next be our next Princess cruise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have one booked yet, or you got your eye on something?
We have one booked, but we're not sure if that's gonna play out or not. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Now, when you say we have one booked, obviously I don't know what one it is.
I'm planning to.
So you have one booked for us.
I'm planning to bring you with me.
That's good to hear. That is good to hear. That is good.
We're all going.
Yes. Listen, I know that overall, hey, we enjoyed it, and we will be on another Princess cruise.
The whole family's going on this one.
We're looking forward to more
kids,
Princess.
We'll get the kids' view on the next one too.
That's right. Would you consider a group cruise to Alaska with the new itinerary on MSC? Said Crispy Cruising. I don't think we'll be doing any other groups to Alaska.
Yeah, we've
done that already.
We've been to Alaska, I think 4 times now. We counted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll be planning to go back to Alaska in the next few years.
So we'll see.
But we'll see.
We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Group cruise on a Princess cruise. That's what John and Diamond said. I don't know. I mean, that cruise ship definitely has potential to have a good amount of time, have some good spaces where people could hang out and engage and have some fun together and do some fun stuff. And that's really what the group cruise, what you really need in a ship and a cruise line is some place where there's a lot of area where you can just talk to other people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So there you go. Will G said, yes, I have a payment coming up. Oh, does Will G have a payment? Well, you better get on it, Will. You better get on it. Those cruises aren't going to pay for themselves, No. All right, listen, you guys are awesome. We appreciate it. And one last thing. Hey, keep in mind, we don't talk about it too much, but if you are looking to book an excursion, Sharon did team up with these guys right here, Shore Excursions Group. If you go to their website, we have a link in the video below, in the section of the video below, where you can link up. And truth be told, yes, it is an affiliate link. And if you want to support us a little bit, you can book through there. Just go in, enter your cruise ship, enter what date you're sailing. It'll pull up all of the places where you can go to. It'll show you excursions. You can book your excursions through Shore Excursions Group. That way you're booking outside of the cruise line and not with the cruise line. Usually you get a little more of an intimate experience.
And they have a great back to the ship guarantee. They guarantee they will get you back to the ship in time.
Yes. That's a big deal for people.
And I haven't heard of anyone ever missing the ship that has booked with them before.
Yes. And we've done a number of excursions with them ourselves. And everything's been great with them, and we had a great time. So Shore Excursions Group, but you got to use the link that's in the video, and that way they know that Sharon sent you, and that's a big deal. So keep that in mind. And sharonatsea@gmail.com for all your booking cruise needs. sharonatsea@gmail.com. Make sure you hit this girl up. because I need her just to be. She just loves to book cruises 24 hours a day. So please help her make
Well,
that
I don't know
happen.
about 24 hours.
18 hours a day, 16, 12 hours a day at
Oh,
least.
my
Please
goodness.
help her out and make it happen. So that's everything. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for joining us for our Sun Princess. We got a few more videos coming out. We're going to be creating a little more original content, between now and the end of the year, and then the first half of the year is when we start
Yeah.
getting back into some major cruising and,
Yeah, our
and
next-
activity and stuff like that.
Next cruise is not until New Year's Eve, but go after the first of the year. We have, I feel like something going cruise every month for several months. We have a
do.
lot going on.
We do.
But yeah, right now it's vacation. It's holiday time for me, and I like to be home during this time.
Yes.
And
If I had it my
do
way, I would
holiday
go on a
things.
cruise now, and I'd come back after New Year's. But
Yeah.
but nope, Sharon loves
But
the
I
holidays
have
and all
to
that comes along with it.
Have time to prepare for the holidays and do all my fun things,
Yeah.
decorate and all that stuff. So
All right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. So we'll be planning our next Princess Cruise, and look out for more videos. And until next time, from all of us here at Sharon Travel, to all of you, thank you, Nancy, for being here
Yes,
in the
thank
chat with
you,
us tonight.
Nancy.
Leanne, we hope you had a great time with your dinner. When you watch this, you better watch this back on the replay. And from me, from Matthew, from Callie, from Sharon, from Lucy, who's around here somewhere. Hi,
Lucy's
Lucy.
laying right over here.
She's taking a little nap. Thanks for joining us. And
We will see you in 2 weeks on November 11th. We'll be back.
what is there anything big happening between now and November 11th? Are you sure you don't want to have an election night special live
I'm
stream?
positive.
Okay.
We'll
All
have,
right, well,
our,
listen.
we'll have our own party at home.
Yes. And we hope your favorite candidate wins the election. And let's go Chargers. We got some good football coming up soon, too. All right, guys. We love you. Thanks for being here. And we'll see y'all next time.
Good night,
Thanks for joining us.
everyone.